Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Hey everybody, old Cappy here. We got a very interesting video request. And Daniel writes. He writes a long-ass email. And I'm just going to go through the important parts. Group projects. Throughout high school and college, one of the following situations has occurred. I had lazy people who were incompetent fuck me over. I had people who were not lazy, but who were incompetent fuck me over. I had lazy people who were actually competent and who could have done the work fuck me over. I had non-lazy people who were competent fail the holy chalice measurement of someone who is truly entrepreneurial, and that despite their talent and their work ethic, they were not expedient. They didn't give a fuck back to people like I did. Basically number 4, but instead of just being slow on email, just because, etc., their mother or something like that actually did have cancer, being on the West Coast, they were put in euthanasia-style dilemma, and they actually needed their time off before deciding whether or not to pull the plug. They brought the death certificate the next time I saw them. This was real. Number 5, but they faked it. Wow, they actually brought the death certificate. Then you gotta go talk to the professor. And the path I just did these people's work anyway because my rationalization was the following. 1, it makes me better as I learn more. The ultimate irony being that when they do not do their work, I gain more of their skills. Number 2, it's still my grade. I could always go to the teacher or professor later after the project was good and handed it on time and get them marked down. However, it's gotten to the point where, with me especially being on academic probation still, it is bleeding into my test prep of our other courses. My final questions are as follows. What is your advice for each of these situations? High school, college, grad school. Okay, I'm going to answer them all because it's going to be all the same. Although it doesn't seem like you're in high school anymore, but for those of you who are in high school, this is more or less how you do it. We're going to operate, and this has happened to me too. I think it happened twice. And it's completely unfair. I don't know why professors at school still... Well, I know why they'll say, because this is how it is in the real world. It's completely unfair and not meritocratic because it's not your performance that's being judged. It's everybody's performance. And they all do well, we're judging it by team. Fuck that. What I would do is, first, I would go up to the teacher or the professor and explain very clearly, I'm going to insist that I'm judged on my own personal performance. I'm going to do whatever I can to make it. But if this has happened to me in the past, be very honest. This happened to me in the past. There's just people who are lazy. They don't do the work, and my grade has suffered for it, or I've had to do all the work, and I'm not going to tolerate that. And sometimes the professors or the teachers be, yeah, we understand, don't worry, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, do your best, we'll kind of take care of it. And I'd say that'd be about 60% of the professors. The remaining 40 just, well, don't worry, this is the real world. I love it how professors who've never worked a fucking day in the real world are telling you that that's the real world. There's the fucking irony. So, what then strategy you employ is one of escalation, and it operates on the principles that people don't respond to kindness, they respond to threats. Okay? And I would like to say that I don't want to say, I would like to think, or logic would suggest that there'd be a risk or a consequence of you threatening people, not with violence, just threatening. There isn't. Americans are such pussies, our cultures, there's nothing. I think you can go and threaten all you want. I mean, look at what Greece is doing to Europe. They're just giving them the finger, and they're just taking, billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars, and no one's going to stop them. So I can only imagine no one's going to stop you if you say, hey, you're going to do your work in this. So, first thing to do is get in command of the situation so you be the leader. There'll be who wants to be the leader? Don't even wait for people to say, well, I might, but if anybody else says, I'll be the leader. And they're like, okay. And so, use that hem and haw, so I'll be the leader, just right off the bat. And you being that aggressive and confident will kind of oh shit, this guy's serious. So. And then there's usually that meeting. So now your first meeting, you're going to be very clear. You're going to just tell them, I've done this before. Pretty much tell the professor or the teacher what you told the professor or the teacher. I've done this before. We're all going to get A's and we're all going to do our work. And if anybody here doesn't carry their ass or give me this fucking bullshit line, oh, my mom's in the hospital and all that crap, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that you get a bad grade and I get a good grade. If I have to do your work for you, I'm going to let the professor know. I mean, you like lay it down right there and say, and if anybody here is, you disagree with that, let's see if we can trade somebody else with the other group. I mean, just go right off the bat. And what will happen is the people who are lazy, if they have any balls in them, they won't. They typically won't, but if they might go talk to the professor. Well, this guy's really aggressive, and I don't want him on our team. Can he go to another? Well, that's good. If you can go to another team, although of course you run the risk that you wouldn't be the leader there. Then you've escaped two lazy people in that team and hopefully go to one that doesn't have it. But if all of a sudden you go to another team, or this professor, well, we'd like you to join another team, say, I'm only going to be the leader on that team. I told you before, I want to make sure I get an A on this. I am not having my grade affected by other people. And just hold firm, be polite, say, I know, I understand, but I'm going to insist on being the leader. And then there'll be the well, you have to be last, and that's part of the process, it's part of what we're trying to teach you, is being more of a team player. But yeah, I go right off the bat, lay down the rules very clearly, saying, hey, and if you want to go be lazy, you're not gonna stop it. You're gonna do your work, and I'm gonna let the professor know who worked here and who didn't. Like, you got to be the adult, you got to be the fucking adult, because college is still basically a bunch of fucking petulant little children. Okay, so you go and you do your thing, and you start working, and the lazy fuck didn't heed your warning the first time and didn't get the thing. And right off the bat, you nip it in the bud. Everyone, you stay, everybody else leave. Just say, what the fuck is this? Why the fuck you're late? Why are you late? Like, no. I told you. You're not going to affect my grade. You can get in their face if they want to get physical. I don't care if they're bigger. Don't get violent with them. They say, I told you. It's like, okay, fine. You're not going to do the work. All right, fine. Then I told you. You're not going to affect my grade. This shit's going to get done. I'm going to make sure you get the grade you deserve. So either start doing your fucking work or not. And then just get up and walk away. And then, and if that doesn't work, okay. So, and I would almost recommend recording that conversation. Like, if you're going to record it, don't curse and swear. Say, all right, here's the deal. I'm very serious about it. You haven't done your work. Are you going to do your work? Yes or no? No, I need to know, because if you're not going to do your work, then I got to give it to other people. I'm going to reallocate it, and then you just don't have to show up. You can just go play your video games and jerk off to porn for all I care. All right? Typically, it's guys who are lazy as fuck. I don't really recall a lot of women that didn't carry their weight. But anyway, get that recording. If they don't perform again, then you go to the professor and you ask him or her that you kindly be graded on the 5 of the 6 people in the team that are actually doing the work, and that the other person is not doing that. You also maybe even get the other team members to go in there with you. If the professor won't do that, and you're still not able to carry over, like the 5 people can't easily take care of the 6 person's laziness, like your grade is still going to be affected because this guy ain't getting his shit done, and the professor ain't going to yield either, then what I would do is I go to the boss and ask him, okay, who's your boss? Like, if after you've tried to be polite and to say, okay, who's your boss? No, if I have to file a complaint, who's your boss? And then that might freak them out. That might say, well, wait a minute, because professors are fucking pussies, most of them. They're very few. Some of them are proud, they're egotistical, but say, no, I just, if it's going to be this way, if you're going to grade us unfairly, I'm going to file a complaint. And, so who's your boss? And then, so you go talk to whatever, the department head or whoever they are. And then maybe even they will, well, we understand Professor Jones might be a little difficult. And then you find out who there is. But it's a question of escalation. You want to keep going there. If at any point in time you can still get the A with the team you got and just get that fucktard out of there, go that route of least resistance. But if it's still going to affect your grade, you keep going up. So you go up to, I think department head but you're not going to get the president or the chancellor of the university, but you go up to the head and say, I'm filing a formal complaint. And I think there's even you should have a right to protest your grade. I think from some of these schools, you have the right to protest your grade. Follow that up. But in the end, what's going to happen is you're going to have to do the work yourself. That's just what it's going to boil down to. If you want that A, you're going to have to pick up the slack. And then what I do is the kid that was, hey, I'll remember you. I will remember you. I'm going to write it down. So I see you on Facebook or YouTube. I ever see you apply for a job, I know how to fucking hire you. Just let that fucker have it. But all that being, so you're going to have to do the work. So, you file your complaints up the highest chain of command. I'd even maybe do a YouTube video warning other students about this professor in that class. You know, put the professor's name and the class up there and warn them about group project and how they do. And then that'll maybe, you know, because they're so susceptible to shame. They're such fucking weaklings and cowards. Anyway. But going forward, before you sign up for a class, ask the professor, look and say, is there going to be any group work? And avoid those classes. Unfortunately, I'm wondering what you're in where you're going to ask this question about grad school where you got to do group projects. I'm hoping you're not in an MBA or a sociological or liberal arts type master's program. But try to avoid those classes as much as possible. You're right, it's just not worth it. But yeah, absolutely, play hardball. Nice guys do not finish first, second, third, or fourth. They finish last. You go in there, you don't be a completely belligerent asshole, but you be deadly, cold-hearted, eyes of stone serious, like, we're going to do this. And if someone, in the professors, the higher-ups, well, hem and haw, I'm not going to, okay, what's your boss? And you got to be very just adult like that. They're the children, you're the, okay, all right, who's your boss? Well, what do you mean? I say, who's your boss? I'm just going to file a complaint. You're obviously a dead end in this regard, and I'm just going to, I'm not going to suffer this injustice, and I will get the grade I deserve. All I'm asking for is fairness. That's it. At any point in time, it's under your control to do it. But if you're not going to do it, I at least have enough self-respect for myself that I'm going to get the grade I deserve. You keep hammering that home. Don't be an asshole, but be firm, and usually these people will crack. So. Anyway, so I hope that helps. But yeah, just try to avoid it, man. Just try to avoid it. I don't care how, like, this is how you're going to have to work in the real world. In the real world, people still don't do their fucking work. It's not like you're going to learn anything new. Like, oh, I've learned how to solve this problem. Yeah, the problem in the real world is just what I told you. You threaten the fuck out of people. Of course, you don't threaten the fuck out of them because then they file harassment complaints. You just, like, go up to your bag. But again, you need fuck you money to actually pull it off in the real world. Like, this guy ain't doing his work. You gonna get rid of him? Okay, well, no, fuck you, I'm gone. Well, wait, Bill, what, you just quitting? Yeah, do you understand fuck you, I'm gone? But that's why we all need fuck you money. Anyway, best of luck to you. Toodles.